For decades, we were all told the same comforting little bedtime story. The robots are coming for the factory jobs, the truck drivers, the welders, the folks who work with their hands. So the smart move, obviously, was to get a degree, get a nice desk job, work with your brain, and sip a latte while the machines did all the sweaty stuff. Safe as houses.
Yeah, about that.
Because the first jobs AI actually came for weren't out on the factory floor. They were the ones in the cozy, air conditioned office, the spreadsheet, the inbox, the safe, educated, please clap, sit at a desk careers. We were all basically ordered to chase. So here's the deeply awkward question: why did AI come for the safe jobs first? Grab a snack. Let me show you. Let's rewind. For most of the last century, there was a deal. A pinky promise, really. Study hard, go to college, get an office job, and in exchange, you'd receive something priceless: stability. The factory might close, the robots might take the assembly line, but you, my friend, with a diploma on the wall and a stapler with your name on it, untouchable. And honestly, it made total sense. When we pictured automation, we imagined big, clunky mechanical arms doing physical things, lifting, welding, assembling. The jobs that looked easiest to replace were the ones done with your body. Meanwhile, the jobs done with your mind, the writing, the analyzing, the important looking nodding in meetings, those felt safe, human, special, basically sacred. So millions of people made a completely rational bet. They climbed the ladder up and away from the factory floor into the glorious land of swivel chairs, convinced that was the safe direction. And then a strange new machine showed up, one with no arms at all. Awkward. Here's the twist absolutely nobody put on their bingo card. This new AI is terrible at lifting things. It has no hands, it cannot climb a ladder or fix a leaky pipe to save its life. But it turns out it is scary, scary good at the exact stuff we swore made office work safe: reading, writing, summarizing, analyzing, and spotting patterns. And to get why the safe jobs flipped, you only need one idea. AI is brilliant at anything that can be chopped into neat little steps on a computer. And plot twist, a truly heroic amount of office work is exactly that. Take these numbers, paste them into that report, read these emails, sort them, reply, summarize this document, fill in this form, repeat until retirement. Predictable steps on a screen. To an AI, that's not a job. That's a buffet. But the physical world for a machine, that's a horror movie. Unloading a random truck, wiring a house, calming a scared patient, fixing a car wedged into a cramped garage. Every single situation is different, messy, and needs a body that reacts in real time. The work we snootily called low skill turned out to be some of the hardest stuff on earth to automate. So the whole picture flipped upside down. The brainy work we protected became the exposed one, and the hands-on work we quietly looked down on became the safe one. The researchers who study this now say it out loud. Knowledge workers are more exposed to this wave of AI than manual laborers, the exact opposite of what we confidently believed for about 50 years. Oops. So who's actually feeling this? Not everybody equally. It's hitting one group first, and of course, it's the group nobody wanted to hurt, the people just starting out. Because the universe has a sense of humor, and it is mean. The most exposed roles right now are the entry-level, repetitive, computer-based ones: bookkeeping and payroll clerks, administrative assistants, customer support, junior researchers and analysts, even junior coders and paralegals. They all share one fatal little pattern. They're built out of predictable digital tasks, which is the precise thing AI inhales for breakfast, lunch, and a light snack. And the numbers got real, fast. In 2025, well over 1 million jobs were cut in the US, with tech and entry-level office roles hit the hardest. Companies did the math and realized one AI tool could quietly do what used to take a whole cubicle farm of juniors. And here's the brutal part: when a task gets automated, that entry-level seat that used to do it often just never gets filled again. It doesn't get fired. It gets ghosted, which sets up a problem way bigger than any single job. What happens when someone deletes the bottom of the ladder? Here's the quiet little crisis hiding under all of this. Entry-level jobs were never just jobs. They were how you learned to do the thing. The junior analyst becomes the senior analyst. The assistant becomes the boss. You start at the bottom, you spill coffee on important documents, you grow. That first rung is how every single career actually begins. But if AI quietly swallows the entry-level work, that first rung gets sawed clean off. and the data's already sweating. Recent college graduates are facing surprisingly high unemployment, and a huge chunk are working jobs that don't use their degree at all. Like they did everything they were told, checked every box, and showed up to find the door had been quietly resized to cat flap. And it's a genuinely tricky puzzle, even for the companies doing it. Because if you stop hiring and training beginners today, you may wake up in 10 years with exactly zero experienced experts. Turns out seniors don't spawn fully grown. Who knew? Quick pause. If this is making you side eye your own safe career, do me a solid and hit like and subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel reach more people quietly panicking about this exact thing. It's free, costs you nothing, unlike apparently everything else these days. Okay, and now the part that should actually lower your blood pressure, because here's the honest bit, and it really matters. Despite the screaming headlines, the robots have not, in fact, taken all the jobs. Not even a little bit close. When economists roll up their sleeves and dig into the real employment data, the picture is dramatically less apocalyptic than the panic wants you to believe. In fact, so far, a lot of the jobs most exposed to AI aren't showing mass unemployment at all. Some of them are doing completely fine. Thanks for asking. And a lot of the scariest predictions, half of all office jobs gone in 18 months, tend to come from people who are, funnily enough, either selling AI or selling headlines. Weird how that works. The truth is sitting in the boring, unclickable middle. AI is genuinely reshaping office work, especially at the entry level, especially for repetitive tasks. That part is real, and you can see it happening. But the idea that everyone with a desk job is getting replaced by next Tuesday? That's fear cosplaying as fact. Change is happening, an overnight collapse is not. So, no, don't panic. But also, don't stick your fingers in your ears and hum. The ground is moving. The smart move isn't to freak out, it's to notice which way it's tilting. So, if the old safe bet flipped, what's the new safe? Squint at this, and three kinds of work keep stubbornly standing. First, work that needs an actual body in the actual world. The trades, plumbers, electricians, mechanics, hands-on healthcare. The messy, physical, no 2 days alike work that machines still trip over. The jobs a lot of people were once told were beneath them are quietly turning into some of the most bulletproof careers around. Feels good, doesn't it, plumbers? Second, work built on human trust and judgment. Caring, persuading, leading, teaching, making the hard call when everything's a gray area. Sure, AI can draft the email, but it can't sit with a grieving family, win over a skeptical room, or actually take the blame when things go sideways. That last one's a very human specialty. And third, the big one, the people who learn to use AI instead of arm wrestling it. In basically every field now, the person who wields these tools well is starting to lap the person who pretends they don't exist. The future job isn't human or AI. For most of us, it's human plus AI. The winners are the ones who treat it like a power tool, not a rival. And the safest skill of all? Adaptability. Boring answer, I know, but the one thing we now know for absolute certain is that the definition of a safe job can do a full backflip in a single decade. So let's circle back to that cozy little promise: study hard, get the desk job, be safe forever. Honestly, not terrible advice. It was just quietly built on an assumption that stopped being true, that thinking was hard to automate, and lifting was easy. Turned out to be the other way around. Classic. The robots didn't come for the factory first, they came for the cubicle, not to vaporize everyone overnight. Again, the panic is way overblown, but to quietly rewrite which bets are safe and which are risky. The welder is fine, the person willing to learn and adapt is fine, and safe, it turns out, was never a comfy place you arrive and park. It's something you have to keep earning. Sorry, so here's my question for you. If you could hand one piece of career advice to a kid starting out today, knowing everything you now know, what would it be? Drop it in the comments. I will absolutely be reading them. And if this rearranged how you think about your own safe job, even a little, do me one last favor. Hit like and subscribe, because the world is going to keep changing at a ridiculous pace, and it's a whole lot less scary when you see it coming.